Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, the place for internet technology professionals whose work-life balance plan has imploded. We are here to provide solutions that will help the IT pro live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Hi, this is Joanne Victoria from AskJoanneVictoria.com. I partner with information technology professionals whose work-life balance has imploded and who want more fun, more confidence, more success, and more inner peace. I interview experts in the areas of health, wellness, spirituality, and mindfulness. The Sanity Project podcast is a platform for experts in the self-help, self-development community to share their wisdom, expertise, and solutions that will help the IT pro live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Today's guest is Krysti Turznik. I'm going to give you her email address right now so you have it. Take notes, speaking@powerful-mind.com. That's also the title of her website link, which is powerful-mind.com. Krysti Turznik is an author, motivational speaker, and life coach. Krysti holds a master's degree in metaphysics, Bachelor of Science Degrees in Biology and Metaphysics, is an ordained minister and a consulting hypnotist. For nearly 2 decades, she's helped people deepen their spiritual connection, reconnect to their purpose, and create a life of miracles and magic where every day feels like a day at the beach. Her new book, available now, is called Mindset Magic, Using Scientific and Spiritual Principles to Create Your Life. Let me say that again. Mindset Magic, Using Scientific and Spiritual Principles to Create Your Life. And it has been endorsed by Michael Bernard Beckwith. Welcome to the show, Krysti Turznik.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I am so glad that you're here. And what I have to ask, what is a consulting hypnotist?
What that means is that I have specialized training in hypnosis and have studied extensively through the practice of using hypnosis in order to make deep and permanent changes. So it's not just a temporary fix. It's something that becomes an authentic, organic part of someone.
Right. Well, hypnotism helped me stop smoking a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a very powerful practice. Yeah,
very. And it's nice if your people, when they use it, that they are ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the secret to hypnosis actually is that all hypnosis is actually really self-hypnosis. When you're working with a hypnotist, that person is really just walking you through your own process because you're always going to be in control and you'd never do anything that was outside of what you were there to accomplish. So it's a really powerful tool to make deep changes.
Yeah, I believe it. I had tried several times on my own to stop smoking, and we're talking a long time ago, but I had tried several ways to do it, and nothing would go until I just came to my end and decided I was going to do this, was recommended to a therapist who offered hypnotism, did it, and in one session and a couple of runs of a tape she provided me with, it was over, and I cannot stand the smell of it. No desire for it at all ever again.
Yeah. And I think you hit it right on the head there where you said that you had gotten to the end of your rope. And that's really the key to making any kind of change in your life. You have to be really ready to make that change and be able to envision the life that is what you want. You know, not the one that you have, but the one that will involve the change. So that was really key in order to making that happen for yourself.
Well, it also touches on the topic you're going to be talking about, I think, in the way that you show people how to get out of their own way. And I think the ego stands in the way of things we say we want. And then somehow we just have to give that up and make way to put ourselves on a different path. And how can you help our listeners reconnect with who they truly are and live the life they were meant to live with more peace, more power, and more purpose?
You know, I I think that it's really just allowing you to get back in touch with who it is that you are, not who society or, people that are close to you think that you should be, but really when you tune into yourself, it's understanding what's important to you and what it is that you would like to accomplish on your time here, on earth. So when I work with someone, I utilize mindset, motivation, and meditation as the main tools to help people to get out of their own way and really start connecting with their authentic self.
Well, how do you motivate someone?
I help them understand their big why. So, what is the reason that someone is wanting to make a change? And when you really understand the motivating desire in order to accomplish something, like what is it that's propelling you to move forward, to want to make this change? What kind of benefit is it that you're going to be getting from this? Understanding that motivation or that big why really helps you to get through any sort of bumps or obstacles that you might encounter, and it helps you to stay focused on the big picture at the end.
Well, there's stuff going on in the family arena, and that always brings on a lot of stress. And when I get stressed, since I don't smoke, I don't drink, my oral fixation turns to food. And sometimes if I'm of the ilk that I cannot have it in the house. If it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. So I can't bring it in. But from time to time, I just ignore my own messages to myself. No, my mind is going, no, you don't want that. And I'm going, I'm in charge. I'm going to do it anyway. Yep. So I buy the thing that is not very good for me. And this is a cycle. Believe me, this is a cycle. What do I do? I mean, I'm not alone.
No, absolutely.
But this is what I go to. As I say, no drinking, no smoking, and no drugs. So what's left to me is food.
Yeah. So when I find myself in that situation, and what I suggest to others is if you are doing something that is out of alignment with what it is that you say that you want for yourself, start to question your behavior. So what I like to do is ask yourself, what am I really needing here? So if it's, you're buying something in the grocery store, food, that you typically wouldn't purchase, say, why am I really buying this? And your mind is going to say, well, because I really want this right now. It's I'm hungry or whatever it might be. And then you acknowledge that, say, okay, great. I recognize that. So even deeper than that, what do I really want? And it typically takes 3 askings of what I want, even deeper than that, to get to the core reason or the core issue of what it is that is propelling you to reach for something that is incongruent with your goal. So when you understand really what it is that you want, if you go to that food example, if at the core of everything you're really feeling lonely and you know that this item of food will offer you some sort of comfort or it will help you to distract yourself or whatever it might be, that is really the need that is trying to be met, and it's just the behavior isn't matching. So if you can meet that underlying need in a healthier way, you're going to be able to, first of all, have more confidence in what it is that you're saying and doing, and you're going to know that you're walking that line that is consistent for your ultimate goals that you're setting for yourself. And really, you're going to be able to get a deeper understanding of if this is the need that I'm wanting, you have that power to choose something different, because awareness really is the PowerPoint of everything. When you have that recognition of, yes, I'm doing something, but I don't know why, that kind of leaves you in limbo where you don't know how to get out of that cycle. But if you can go a little bit deeper and get to that core need and understand it from that level, then you're able to choose something that you wish to, rather than just something that's a spur of the moment thing that you may regret later.
Well, I have been having some of those conversations with myself, and I've noticed recently when I am in a grocery store, and I'll go buy something that I would, probably pick up in the past, I can't even stretch my arm out to touch it. I just look at it and go, no, or not even no. With some things, it's insignificant. I just walk past it. So I know that some of that paying attention to what you really want and helps. I just find that it needs to be consistent over time.
Yeah.
And is that how you help your people through their mindset and motivation?
Yeah, in parts, certainly the mindfulness of really being aware of all of the thoughts that you have and the actions that are coming from that. But I think really it's getting more of that clarity of what is it that I want for my life? What is it that I want to create? Who do I want to be? And then outlining where you are and what needs to take place in order to accomplish those things. And really just, starting that process of, being aware of the internal dialogue and then taking action on the steps that are going to lead you to that outcome that you want.
Well, I'm a list maker by trade. I just use yellow pads by the dozens. I'm using one right now to take notes on what you're saying for the show notes. And this works for me to connect my hand to my brain. And I tell myself rather than write it down, but now I'm going to write it down because you said so. Mm-hmm. And I respect what you say as being true, because since I write everything else down and it works, I might as well do this one as well. But unfortunately, also shows that I put myself last. And so I'm going to make a list of, why I want to not eat, which is a mangled sentence, but what works for me and what I truly want and how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to have good health, how I'm going to be able to fit into some of the clothes that I haven't been able to for a while, which I think is, again, I'm not alone in that, but right now I'm going to be alone in that desire and thought process about that. And so that's going to work for me to make a list about, what do I really want and why do I really want it? Because I'll let you continue in a minute, because this is what I ask my clients all the time. What do you want? Why? Always the why, so you can get deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also important to understand that when you're being clear with what it is that you want, if you are able to frame it in the positive, like what do you want rather than what do you not want?
Right.
Because your subconscious doesn't really understand the negatives. It doesn't understand the not words. So it hears it as an affirmation of wanting to have the thing that you say that you don't want. So it's a little bit of a slippery slope there. So, rather than saying like, I don't want to eat that thing, it's like, I choose to eat healthy foods that are going to be, helping me to achieve my goal. And it's just a subtle difference of reframing that really makes tremendous difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. The not is the negative words are not even acknowledged by the subconscious. So
That's
all
right.
they would see is, I want to eat this, or fill in the blank.
Yep. Exactly.
So could people today, how could our audience connect? Is there another way besides making a list? What can they do on a daily basis if they're stuck in a situation? What can they do to reconnect with who they truly are, or at least what they truly want for that moment in time?
Yeah, I think it can start as soon as you wake up in the morning, before you even are out of bed. You have that awareness that a new day has started, and you can start that day with gratitude. The first thing that I do is say thank you for this new day to create something new that I haven't done before. And then if you can identify those things that you'd like to accomplish for yourself, that really helps to give your subconscious a task on what it is that it can look in your environment for and help bring the opportunities to you. So I like to start with gratitude and then have an intention for the day of what it is that you'd like to do or to experience. And even if it's, I am open to receiving the wonderful opportunities that are going to be present today, welcoming the unexpected or the unknown. It really opens you to something that is out of the ordinary, and leads you more into alignment with your true potential, because at that point you're allowing the energetic and the spiritual realm to come in and offer some of the guidance that is always being presented to us. Sometimes we just may not be able to see it because we're so busy looking for other things that we forget that guidance and that wisdom is always there for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's similar to what I do. I, express my gratitude for another day for me to contribute whatever I have to the world. And I ask them what I should do. I have this committee, which by now anybody who's been listening to my podcast, especially when I'm lucky enough to have a guest who's involved in, mindfulness and metaphysics, what is my next step? What do you want me to do? And sometimes I'll just finish the list you already have, or read a book, or do this. It tells me what to do. And I don't think I'm giving up any of my own personal power by acceding to those requests, because that's the deal I made, was to listen to my unconscious or conscious, listen to my intuition, and trust that I will receive the right messages.
Yeah, absolutely. And there again, we always have the choice, so we do have that power and that control. Yes, we're going to be receiving the guidance and those inner nudgings. And we have every possibility too of either accepting those nudgings or, just kind of going on our own and ignoring those. So when you participate in the offerings that you're receiving, that's when you really start to co-create your life and your experiences, is because you're working, directly with the spiritual and the divine realm.
Absolutely. Well, it does seem to work, doesn't it?
It does. Absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing, because we are definitely more powerful than what we believe that we are or what we have been taught. And it's really when you understand that everything that is in the universe and the world is intimately connected at the deepest level. We're all energetic things. So we're connected to everything that we want. It's already out there. We just need to align ourselves with it, and it will come to us.
So how can someone maintain that alliance during a busy day, during a busy life? What's a technique or tool or that they can use during the day? Is there something that you can suggest? Because I know for me, and I'm going to be the guinea pig today for a lot of other people out there, sometimes I get so busy I forget me, and I forget why I'm here so much, is what I need to do to take care of me.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that you can do is really tap into your feelings. Your feelings can be a really strong guidepost for you. And check in, how am I feeling? Am I feeling off? Am I feeling like I'm very frazzled or stressed? Or am I feeling centered and calm and feeling a sense of happiness? Because when you're feeling out of alignment, that's when you are in the state of, of the discontent, of the stress. And in those moments that you recognize that you're out of alignment, that you're not centered, just that simple awareness brings you back to your center. And you have in that moment the opportunity to choose. You can choose to stay in the peace and to have that calm and that centeredness. Throughout the day, you may keep on going back to that stress or that distraction, but the more that you're bringing yourself back to your center, the easier it's going to be, and the more frequently you're going to be maintaining your existence or your daily life in that centered place where you can move easily with more joy and more peace.
That sounds great. In your new book, you say using scientific and spiritual principles to create your life. Can you give me or our audience an example of a scientific and spiritual principle that aligns with each other? I'm assuming that's how you're using that in the book, or not?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. What I am referring to in that is really understanding how the mind works and utilizing the power of the subconscious. Again, it's getting clear on what it is that you want, having the really really clear understanding of your motivation and why it is that you are creating certain things, and that you are an active participant in making those choices. Just because you have had hardships growing up or that you're currently experiencing, that doesn't mean that that is the way that it has to be. You are always able to have a different thought. You can always choose something different. So it's blending the physicality of your mindset with the spirituality, knowing that we are all connected on that deep level. So whatever it is that I want is already mine. I just have to align to it. So it's things like law of attraction or the law of, cause and effect, things like that really help to bring things forward to you much faster, because when you're getting clear and when you're putting it out into the universe has no choice other than to offer that back to you. It's like the third law of motion. There's always an equal and opposite reaction for everything that is taking place.
Huh. Okay, well, I take that note down. Okay, so again, I'm dealing with people who don't trust that they can get out of their own way because they don't even understand what that means. You and I understand what that means, but I'm dealing with people who are stuck in an environment for, let's say, 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and 8 hours in between. It's a long day. Mm-hmm. So they're stuck in an environment, and for them, getting out of their own way doesn't even make any sense. So can you talk about that for a minute or so?
Sure.
How can they get out of? Okay, they don't understand the concept.
Yeah, so I would start by asking, what is it that is keeping you in the job that is making you so unhappy? You're giving up a significant portion of your life, with the travel there and back, and then the 8 hours of the actual job. So what is it that you are, first of all, trying to accomplish with the job that you have, and what is it that you would like to experience instead of that? So if you are able to identify those needs that are being met, what is that job offering you? Is it offering you a sense of security? Is it offering you, a sense of variety where you don't know what's going to be coming? Is it offering you a common feeling that you have emotionally, where it's validating some belief that you have about yourself and your worth? Or what sort of status or symbol do you associate this type of job that you have chosen as meaning in our society? And it's allowing that introspection of what all of those things represent to you to help you to get clear on how you might be blocking unintentionally the ultimate goals that you say that you want for yourself. So often we say that we want a better life or we want a better job, but we're not clear on what it is that we specifically want. And when you're not clear with that, it's really just leaving it out in wishful thinking land, where it's never going to be changing because you haven't gotten clear on what is it that's going to make that next job or that next thing different. So if you are able to really connect on a deeper level with yourself of what am I getting out of this? How is it meeting my needs? And a lot of times what you will find when you're in a situation that is less than what you want is the knowledge that you're going to gain is not pretty. It's going to be a lot of humbling information that will come, because you recognize that you have settled for a life that is something that you don't want, and that perhaps you aren't valuing yourself as much as what you wish that you would.
Well, you're great, and you're giving great responses, and I'm sure our audience is just going to be terribly, terribly pleased. I want to let everyone know, and you'll probably be able to see it on the website, where I will have Krysti's podcast, but Krysti is offering a 100 free affirmations for a better life, and it will be on the website. But as I said, you've got her email address, speaking@powerful-mind.com, Krysti Turznik, Kristy Turznik, if you want to email her now before you look around. So what has been a lesson or advice that has stuck with you, Krysti?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is don't try to be anyone other than who you are. We all have unique skills and talents and dreams that are ours and ours alone. There's no one else on the planet that is exactly like us. And what I have come to discover is that you will make the biggest impact simply being by who you are, not who you think that you should be or who you want to be, but by really tapping into who it is that you are, all of the lessons and the experiences and the wisdom that you have gained to get to this point and this moment in your life has really been something of value. And that is something that can be shared with the world and help to uplift those around you. So just really be who you are, because that's going to be the greatest gift that you can give to everyone else, including yourself.
If only more people would align with that. But I think it just becomes difficult when you're trying, especially today with pop culture in its entirety being what it is, and young men and women even older men and women, I don't think generational makes a difference here, trying to be somebody else. Well, I thank you, Krysti, and what I want the listeners to do are a couple of things. First, go to iTunes and give Krysti a rave and amazing review. That means you're going to have to write a few words. I know it may be a stress and you've got lots of things going on in your life, but Krysti deserves some attention here. So when you're on iTunes and giving Krysti Turznik a great review, you can give the podcast 5 stars. So that means one click, that's it. And you can also go to my website at askjoannevictoria.com and download a free copy of The True Self Handbook, a guide to transform your life. Is there anything else you want to say, Krysti, as we wrap up here?
I think the thing that I would like to leave your listeners with is really just give yourself permission to be greater than who you think that you are, because you are tremendous and you have such beautiful gifts and insight that you can offer to the world. So you're here for a purpose. So just allow that purpose and your visibility to shine for others to move forward.
Perfect. Can't get any better than that. Well, I thank you, Krysti Turznik, and we'll talk to you real soon. Take care. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to askjoannevictoria.com and continue the conversation on her podcast page. And get a free copy of her book, The True Self Handbook, a guide to transform your life. That's askjoannevictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.